the end credit song, I'll introduce you guys and say we just watched it,
Cool.
and we'll go from there. And
I haven't seen this before.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen this either.
yeah, Billy Crystal, he's hosted like 20 times. It's insane the number of times because we
There's the man Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
He was much happier back then.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you see Kevin Spacey from LA Confidential.
So this was the year, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. We just watched Adventures in Babysitting, and there's that redhead kid, and that's the one that accused Kevin Spacey of
Ooh.
molesting him.
Oh shit.
So, anyway.
Wait a second. You say that redheaded kid for Anthony Rapp?
From Adventures in Babysitting?
I've
didn't
never
s-
seen that.
Anthony Rapp is one of the main guys from Rent. That's why I know him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can't. I
That's
didn't
his
even
like
know his
least
name.
known
That's like-
credit. The Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah,
guy.
Wait,
you guys
what?
haven't seen that?
You
Anyway.
guys know the guy from that 6 Degrees movie with that guy who was on that TV show in the 90s. You mean Will Smith? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. Ready, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, he was sitting next to Linda. He was still married to Linda Hamilton when this happened then. Because now he's married to the girl from Titanic. The girl who was...
Kate Winslet?
No. He's married to the girl who played Rose's daughter, old Rose's daughter. That
Yeah,
girl.
Oh.
On
That's
the
just-
expedition.
Yeah.
Who
that's-
is that?
She used to
She's
be,
so pretty.
She used to be an actress, and then she married James Cameron. She's like,
Oh,
well, I don't have to
shit.
work anymore. This guy's a
What
billionaire.
a good move.
He's going to eventually die for one of these deep sea expeditions, and
Yeah.
I'll be the widow.
Joining me this week is going to be Chris Daniels and Melissa Stokoski.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I wanted to intro you like immediately as possible because I want to include all that stuff you were just talking about.
Okay.
She sounds like she made a career choice there.
I mean, I can't. All the women who have been married to James Cameron preceding her have had not great stories to tell.
How many have there been?
He's at 5. This is his 5th
Wow.
one.
Oh, wow.
He was married to Catherine Bigelow before he was married to Linda Hamilton, who was Sarah Connor from Terminator. So I don't remember who were the ones before Catherine Bigelow, but Catherine Bigelow, she's the one who directed The Hurt Locker.
Right.
Right.
In
That's
that very
right.
overhyped
Academy
Detroit
Award.
movie. And but yeah,
Nothing
She-
but bad things to
Yeah.
say.
a lot of people have bad things to say. Kate Winslet had bad stories for a while because he's just like one of those like aggressively tough directors who
Yeah.
is demanding.
Oh, like a Kubrick, asking for like 70 takes in a row.
Yeah, and kind of a notorious asshole. So
Sure.
Did you know he is the one drawing Kate Winslet in the famous scene?
mhm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's the thing. The thing is,
That's
he's
not
like,
right.
Oh yeah.
he's really talented. He does
No.
everything. He
He's-
draws
yeah.
storyboard and he'll draw.
He drew Kate Winslet's tits.
Oh, no.
Yep.
That made me thought about what the audition process was.
Yeah, right.
When did this take? Like, when did you know you're gonna have to draw this girl's tits? So you would have to see him naked beforehand, which makes the whole thing
What?
weird to me. You would have to.
Well, yeah,
At least
I
the
guess.
casting director.
I'd have to think somebody as intricate as James Cameron. That's what he would have to.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm glad you were sitting around thinking about the casting
Oh boy,
process.
that just we just finished watching Titanic, Academy Award winner, but that's a certainly different angle to start looking at it. I was just
the
trying to
casting process.
I was just trying to like figure out if it like held up in my mind. And now I'm like, oh geez.
Did the movie
Did it?
hold up?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I think so. It was very nostalgic, but I mean, now I'm thinking about like, is James Cameron this total creep?
I don't say he's creepy. I just
Yeah.
It's just part of this weird
the
process.
dude takes like 8 years to make a movie.
right.
He spent 2 years just going down to see Titanic before
Right.
they started making the movie. The whole thing.
I didn't know that.
The whole thing was pitched. So it was the Titanic. They actually found the site in like '85, and James Cameron, who before he became a filmmaker was mostly focused on science and deep sea exploration, was a big deal to him. So, and he had already made Terminator. So he's like, this guy can do whatever the fuck this is the alien Terminator guy. Like, let him do
Yeah.
whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I've been spending 2 years going to see the Titanic. You guys want to make like something about that? And they're like, well, sure. It's like big in the news because they kind of relatively just found it, and they're still figuring stuff out about it. So yeah, it sounds interesting. Is there gonna be like, is there an alien that's on the Titanic? And he's pitching the studio like, yeah, it'll be cool like that. And it'll be like Romeo and Juliet, but with like, you know, my sci-fi kick. And he never added the sci-fi. He just kept the Romeo and Juliet.
That makes sense. I didn't know that he was into deep sea exploration, but I feel that is too much of the movie. It is so boring and so long, and there's no real reward for it. Yeah. It's so annoying. Nobody gives a shit about the crew. That guy with the earring, no one cares. So that makes
Bill
sense
Paxton.
that he was into it.
I forgot he was in the movie.
No.
Oh my God, he sucks. All of them suck, and yeah.
Including Old Rose.
Old Rose is fine, but
okay.
all of those scenes go on for way too long.
Oh
and then
God.
they're sitting there like, oh, like all turned on by her, like, you know, sexy stories. And she's like, oh, I'm old.
When they cut to that scene, I forgot they were there. I was like, oh, these people
they're all
again.
like on the edge of their seats, like listening to her fuck story.
You're like, get us back to the boat. I want to see what happens.
Honestly, most of the times I've watched this movie, I have ended like after they have sex in the car. And I'm like, this is just a great vacation sex movie that takes a terrible turn. But I watched it, you know, obviously following this time.
Yeah. The movie starts off and it's like an exploration movie. Then it becomes a romance, but also a class.
It's also like a Hallmark movie.
It's like a class.
Yeah, the nerd will try to explain how.
And then the sex happens, and you're like, well, that should be, you know, what a great love story. And it's like, no, there's a horror film now.
You're right.
And then it turns into like kind of a comedy for me.
Right.
The comedy for me is once the ship hits 90 degrees and people start sliding, I'm like, well, that's kind of funny.
That's not funny.
Well, no, wait. You don't think it's funny when
you
don't think it's funny when the guy hits the propeller?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say the propeller guy.
That guy really gets
a few weeks ago, I was
So
straight
intense.
up watching this scene again. I was on YouTube, and the guy, you go to the comments, and it's just a bunch of other people who I could find and relate to. Like, all right, is anybody else laughing? We're like, yes, and then they give you suggestions. They're like, play it 2 times fast with yakety sax.
Oh my God.
And it's just on a loop. It's like,
That's so
hilarious.
wonderful.
That's funny.
Yeah, they could link you straight to like that thing too, like 2 minutes and 48 seconds in, and you can like click a button.
There's people have been the Pokemon theme songs on one of them. It's great.
I think what's funny is how many times Rose chooses death. Repeat it. Like nobody wants to die more than Rose. She almost tries to kill herself. She gets on the jumps off of the lifeboat. I mean, so many times this bitch wants to die, and she's the only one who lives.
And it's always the ultimate inconvenience. Like she makes me sympathize with Billy Zane.
Yeah,
because I'm like, all right, we know. Listen, Rose, you and your mom know the money is gone. There's no money. You're stuck with Billy Zane. Billy Zane's. You think this ticket is cheap? Like, no. You're on a Titanic. First day. Didn't even make it one day. She's on the front of the ship trying to kill. Like, we just started this ship.
Yeah.
This trip. And you go try to toss yourself off, and we got to stop. This is like the dude who tosses himself in front of the L train at 4:30 on Monday. Like, it's inconvenience for everybody.
Yeah, she did seem a little irrational up top, like right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, she literally says, "This is like a slave ship for me," which is a really bold thing
you gotta
to
go.
say.
You ain't been to the 4th floor yet. You gotta go downstairs.
Boy. Yeah,
there's guys down there, and they just shovel coal.
She's like, a little hyperbolic, Rose at the beginning. Very dramatic.
Woman. Yeah. You know, like upon rewatching it, was there any like corniness to it? I mean,
none whatsoever.
The corniness. I like it. It doesn't really come off as corny to me, but some of the lines, but it's always from like the British people, like where he's going to like the first like dinner with everybody, and he's getting introduced to all the rich people. So he's meeting like John Astor and Guggenheim and all that.
I like that
and
part.
he's like, It's like, Dawson, are you from? I forget which city, the whatever Dawson. He's like, oh no, the Chippewa Falls Dawson. He's like, oh yes,
Yeah.
like that's corny,
That
but it's
was
also
fun.
like it's hilarious.
There's
It's great.
so many corny parts. I mean, the part where it's like, meet me at the clock, make it count. And then she walks over and he turns and he goes, you want to go to a real party?
Yeah,
I
that's
love
super
it.
corny.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I mean, the acting to me is like, this is a Hallmark holiday movie. Like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
acting
sure.
is so,
Oh shit.
Yeah.
oh my God. And the little Italian guy. Oh my God.
Fabrizio's the
Fabrizio.
corniest dude.
He is ridiculous.
Which person is this?
Fabrizio is the guy who wins the ticket
Oh,
with.
yeah. He wins a poker hand right up top.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, very silly. Like the guy's like,
That part's
Titanic's
fun.
leaving in 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
Then we just
That's
go,
also a corny line when he gets to the ship because he's winning tickets from these. I don't know what country the other dude's from.
Where's
I
Finn?
think they're from like Finland. Like, where is Finn? Yeah, because they're getting in. Like, what's
Yeah.
up? I'm Jack. What's
Yeah.
up, Fabrizio? It's like, they're all like hugging on the top bunk and stuff. We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't care about that guy at all when that pillar fell on him. Like nobody cared.
I cared a
I
little
cared
bit.
about Fabrizio. Like at this time, you gotta understand. All right, at this point, first of all, Fabrizio was the first example of consent I've probably ever seen in film. When they go down and they're doing like the little dance party, he's with that lady. He's like, "Is it okay if I put my hands here?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." And I was like,
Aw.
"Oh, what a gentleman, Fabrizio."
Nice.
So then,
That's
meanwhile,
really
meanwhile,
nice.
Jack's just like, "You got to come close." Like, all right, man.
We got to talk about that scene. I mean, very fun, but like, remember when she goes up on her toes? Like, nobody is impressed by that. I thought that was the
Yeah.
least realistic thing in the world. Like, she just gets like overly confident, like, watch me stand on my toes.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yay, impressive. And everyone would have been like, why'd you do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think if anybody did that in front of me at a party, I'd be like, "That's dope."
After an
I
arm wrestling
guess.
contest, no
That's
less.
dope, but I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't stand up about it. You
Yeah.
know? I saw Black Swan.
Yeah.
So
I'd
like-
clap though. You know, it's certainly impressive, but
Is it?
it's not like a main event impressive. It doesn't beat like an arm wrestling
If
contest.
she had done a backflip, it would have been better.
Totally.
out of the tippy toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. To touch on James Cameron as the underwater explorer, he actually went back down under after the film came out 33 more times.
It's
Whoa.
a greedy bastard.
Yeah.
Dog. When they say that the Bill Paxton's character is like a grave robber, he's just like, like laughs it off. I'm like, but he is. As soon as they found the Titanic,
Yeah.
people just started going down there and just like bumping and shit, knocking stuff over and just
Yep.
grabbing whatever they wanted. And it's just, those like,
They got special robots though.
but
Yeah.
still, you know, you're indiscriminate. Like,
Well, yeah, it doesn't seem like you should be allowed to do that. You
But
know what I
it-
mean?
yeah,
like,
but
just anyone
you'd
who
have-
has the
yeah. But
it's
means
like
can
you-
go down there and.
they can't
Right.
just get a security guard to
Yeah.
watch.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how you prevent
Yeah.
people from doing it, but it doesn't seem
Yeah.
like it should be allowed.
Yeah, if Tony Stark wants to get down there, he's getting down
You
there.
gotta,
Right.
dude.
You know?
He just gonna have a flashlight, no guns on the. Like, what are you gonna do? You gonna
Right.
stop somebody from taking their $1 million robot?
Right.
Right. Ugh.
Did you like the end when Old Rose is on the boat and she's got that very valuable pendant? And she does
No.
it. Oops.
Do you like that better than the
No, I
alternate
don't.
ending? Did
What's
you
the
see-
alternate ending?
The alternate ending? It's on YouTube. Is she's at the edge and she steps up on the railing and Bill Paxton and her daughter are watching. They see her like. They think she's about to jump or something. Like, she's still
Yeah.
thinking about death in their minds. So they heard the story. They're like, she's finally about to fulfill her destiny.
Yeah.
And then they like, oh no. So they run down there. And then it gets into like this weird hostage situation because they're like, Rose, don't do it. And she's like, everybody stay back. And she holds the diamond up. She's like, I'll drop it.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And then everybody runs up. Of course, they're like, you had it the
This
whole
whole
time.
time.
And it's like a mini flashback and then come back. And then he's just like, listen, I'm just a guy looking for a diamond. She's like, oh no, you searched for like the wrong treasure or whatever. Only life is priceless. And then he's like, just let me hold it. And she actually like lets him hold it briefly. And I was like, I would have snatched the shit from this old
Totally.
lady. She
yeah.
isn't gonna overpower me. She's 101 years old.
Right.
But he actually like holds it. She gives it back and then lets it go again.
Wow.
Wow.
And everyone's like, no.
Yeah. The fat dude who was like
Yeah.
having none of it, they're like, whatever Steve Wozniak guy is just.
Yeah, number 2, sure.
That guy was the only one who kept his mind on the mission. He was like,
Yeah, that's true.
He's like, she's a liar. This is bullshit. I'm like,
Right. I loved how that guy he gave those like facts about like how Titanic went down and how the number of lifeboats there were like to a survivor.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, so cool when it hit the bottom of the ocean.
Right. He was pretty flippant
He's like,
about it.
now her ass is in the air, and that's a big ass. We're talking 20, 30,000 tons.
I did always think that was weird how he was like, her ass is in the air. Just like,
Yeah.
ugh. Men are really disgusting. I mean, if you think about it, this whole movie is just about a bunch of cocky dudes either exploring the
doubt.
ocean
Yeah.
or building this ship and being too overconfident
Right.
in everything.
Some
The
of those-
fashion was amazing, though.
Fashion was on point.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was.
When Guggenheim, like that's
Oh,
my favorite line in
yes.
the movie. He's like, they're like, you gonna go up top? He was like, no. Like we were dressed in our best and prepared to go down as gentlemen. And it was just him and his man. Also,
love
a bunch
that.
of dudes just had a man in this movie. Like Cal had a man, Guggenheim had a man. I assume everybody else just had one dude who like had a gun in their pocket and just followed them
Right.
around. But like, damn it, what was I gonna get into before that? It was the women part, because they touch on many times about like the dynamics between men and women, and it's so heavy handed. Where it's like the guys all suck in this movie, especially all the rich guys
Yep.
who are
Yeah.
at dinner,
Yep.
and just like, okay, now they're gonna get up and go have brandy and congratulate themselves on being masters of the universe. And then like the flashback, the flash between scenes when it's like they're dancing, having a good time, and they're just like, well, I told my lawyer that I was gonna blah blah blah. And it's like it's so boring, and they just they like openly shit on women like in front of them the whole time. Like, you don't want to sit here
Right.
and talk with the
women.
women. I was
Yeah.
like, why
Yeah.
y'all married to these people? Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Rose's mom,
Yeah. That's
This
when we
is-
find
She
out
sucks.
she's scheming for
when
money.
she's scheming, this. I was like, because she plays that card. She's like, well, life's hard because we're women. And then she's like, do you want to see our possessions thrown to the wind? I was like, what do you care about here? You care about us or the toys?
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
sucks.
selfish.
Yeah, she sucks.
Yeah.
She did a pretty good job. You know, Kathy Bates was great in this.
Kathy
You know,
Bates.
You
New
got some
Money.
thoughts, Chris?
is-
I loved her.
She was
She is-
wonderful.
She is my favorite actress
Yeah.
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, I loved remembering her in this, and she's like basically she helps out Leo every step of the way with the suit. You know,
So nice. And she was the only one who wanted to go back with the lifeboats.
right?
And they didn't give her a shine because in real life, Molly Brown really did get them to go back. She got like medals and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's cool.
That's
her
awesome.
nickname is the Unsinkable Molly Brown.
I
So-
thought just because she was fat.
That's what I thought too
Which is
at
rude.
first, and I was like,
Me
why
too.
do they just like? Why is this a title? This is very strange.
Very
You're making
rude.
fun of her. She's dead.
Yeah.
And then no, that's just what they called her because she just refused to die.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
You know,
Badass lady.
you guys are saying like, you know, they're robbing people's graves down there. All their bones disintegrate, and the only thing left is their shoes. You know,
Mhm.
just because their shoes
Wow.
are dipped in like a certain kind of acid. Anyway, that's
Wow.
I feel like a creepy kid.
Yeah, their shoes. That's funny.
Trying
Oh,
to-
I love the band too. And
Oh,
supposedly that's where the term comes from. The band played on. I thought that was really
right.
very emotional. You're cracking up. This is
I
the funny part for you.
Yeah.
No,
But-
this is not. No, the music. That
As
was
soon as the music stops, it gets
You know,
sad.
nobody wants to
Right.
like slide down the whole ship to a soundtrack. You know,
I know.
it's
Yeah.
kind of weird, but like, I think it was weird because they planned that.
Yeah.
The people who the band apparently planned if a ship went down, what their songs would be. Like
Oh,
they
wow.
never
Oh, they
planned.
put together a set list.
Yeah, and then they outside like nobody ever listens to us at dinner. And I was like, well, you know,
Right.
play the outro, I guess. you
Yeah.
know?
Damn. That's great.
Oh, emotional.
I liked how Jack suddenly knew exactly what was going to happen with the boat. You know, he was like, "We got to get to the front. It's going to pull us down." You
That
know,
was very strange.
Yeah, that whole part. I mean, well, I didn't realize. Someone told me. John Newman just told me the movie is in time with how it actually sank. They were literally like, we got an hour and there's an hour left in the movie. So in real time, we watch it happen.
Oh,
but like,
wow.
how do they know where to go? Everything's flooded. I mean, the axe part is
Oh,
pretty unrealistic.
Sure.
But
That's the
It's-
biggest sleep right there.
Right.
Yeah.
And that,
She's at this point swung an axe twice.
yeah.
In her waist up to water. So
I know. That whole part, there's so much anxiety because they waste so much time throughout the whole thing. Oh, when the guy drops the keys and
Yeah.
everything, that's frustrating. But how do they even know where to go at that point?
At
That's
this
a little
point,
unrealistic
these
to me.
people have run around this ship for how many times? That's at least 30 minutes is them just running.
That's
left
true.
and right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Just
It's like
cardio.
It's a labyrinth.
Why can't y'all just have a night where you're not running? They're always running.
They're running a
For
lot.
4 days. You're just
Yes.
running around.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about that gun? There's like a gunfight in the middle of the ship sinking too. That obviously didn't
That's
happen.
Cal.
That's Cal, but that's understandable. I've already tried to listen. The money.
She
You
is
think
really
James
blatantly
Cameron-
cheating on
I
him.
maintain-
Like,
John naked pictures of his girl.
Yeah.
There's no way
that part.
There's no way at this point he doesn't know he's saving this girl's family. Like, not to say he's not an evil dude. He is an evil dude, but you gotta understand where he's coming from. You know?
Right.
I have
Well,
paid.
I didn't remember.
I have paid to save your family. I've brought you on here. The first day I find you with some poor dude who's like too hot to be poor. And
Sure.
And also
then
very young looking.
I give you
Oh.
the scariest threat. I throw the table across the room. You know, you still hours later you're back with this dude. Now you're in the room. You got naked. You got porn in my room. You
Yeah.
know,
Which is so
In the
ballsy
safe.
for her to put, like, I was like, oh, why'd she do that? What a fuck up. And I was like, oh, she did that on purpose. That's nuts. To like purposely put it and leave that little note. Wow.
Yeah.
That's,
Rose is a bad bitch.
so he finds that
I respect it, I guess. I
at
don't-
this point he's tried to frame him. He can't frame him. Now she's got his necklace. The only, like, of course I'm gonna try to shoot him. Like, what do you
Yeah.
expect from him?
Okay.
These people gotta die.
Sure. Both of them? Or
Yes.
just Jack?
I'm just talking from Cal's perspective.
Oh, sure.
When he turned the gun, I was like, yeah, I guess I could see where he's coming from.
Yeah, he has been put through a lot in the past 2.5 hours.
Like literally, it's like everything in his life is going bad.
I
Right.
respect him for being able to survive, though. Being scrappy.
I can't believe he just still wants her after all of this. Like, at what point is he just like, fuck this? Like, even
Right.
at the end, he's looking for her on the next boat.
Yep.
I love how he got onto that boat though. When he grabbed that little, he walks
Oh,
by. He
yeah,
walks
he
by
has
the
the
little girls
child.
first, and he's like, "Tough luck, little girl." And
Yeah.
he comes
Yeah.
back.
He's like, never mind, you're my
Such a
ticket.
dick.
I have a child. That might be my favorite line.
Yeah.
Please, child.
I'm all she
I'm all
has.
she has in the world.
As soon as he gets home, he's like, "Take this, get
Yeah.
this girl off me."
Yeah. And then he's got to defend that boat too. He's like kicking people
Oh yeah,
out.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah.
Killing people. Fucking
Oh
left and
my
right.
god.
That was where it got sad for me. Was once people started like they had to turn on each other. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
Once the dude, the crewman who shoots the one
Yeah.
guy because this guy is about to try to Spider-Man onto, and then the other guy gets pushed and he shoots that guy, and then that's when Fabrizio goes, oh, what did he say? He's like, bastardo, bastardo.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that guy shoots himself in the
Yeah,
head.
and
shoots
then he
himself
kills
in the
himself.
head.
Yeah. James Cameron said he was like, he felt bad about taking liberties with the script because that guy was like a real person.
Yeah.
And they don't know if he killed himself or not. So his family was
He
real
took
pissed.
Oh,
he
shit.
took a lot of
Yeah.
liberty with a lot of real people.
Yeah.
So the guy who snuck onto the boat, who was one of the people who came up with the whole like pitch for the ship. Jonathan Ismay, the guy who like sneaks on, he's just kind of like hiding with the women and stuff.
Yeah.
Like of course he gets shit on because he's the one who told him to go faster.
Right.
But like none of that is like
Did that happen? Did he do that?
Oh.
he did survive, but nobody knew like
In
that
we don't know if
detailed
it's
of the
sneaky way,
circumstance.
yeah.
Right.
So it's like, oh, this is the rat. So
Yeah.
after the movie comes, like the biggest movie in the world is like, yeah,
Yeah.
your dude sucks.
Well, have you guys heard the conspiracy theories about what actually happened with the Titanic?
I would love to hear
Give me-
some.
give me
I'm
one.
vaguely familiar.
Okay. I've watched several documentaries. I think I have all the facts right. So there were two ships that they made. There was the Titanic, and I thought it was the Britannic, but my friend just told me it was the Olympia. So regardless, there's two boats.
There's 3 ships. The Olympic
There's 3?
was first. There's all sister ships.
And the Britannic, right?
Britannica.
Yeah.
That's the third one. The
Right.
Britannica is the only one that
Now a
didn't-
dictionary.
or the Britannica sank. 2 of them sank.
Right.
But
Well, I guess they fucked up one of them and they didn't have insurance for it. So they were like, let's sail this one that's a little bit fucked up as the Titanic and we'll get into a minor accident and get the insurance money to fix this boat. And so they had planned on getting in like a not serious thing. And there was a fire burning. I don't know if that was part of it, but they had set up so another ship would be within distance that they could get all the people there. So they planned on having like a little bit of an accident. The iceberg was not it. So JP Morgan knows about this, who he owns all of the British Navy. So he takes his family off all of their gold and he tells a few of his friends and they all don't go because they're like, this little thing is going to go down.
That is a real thing that people did. A lot of people did just like cancel trips like right last minute.
Right last minute because JP Morgan told a select few people. John Jacob Astor is his biggest rival. He does not tell him. He ends up dying on the boat with his family, or I don't know if his family survived, but as we are in Astoria talking about him.
Yeah.
And so it was literally just like insurance fraud. By the end. I feel like there's a few more details that I'm missing. Oh, and everyone knew at the time. Everyone kind of knew that JP Morgan had done this and he was kind of this like puppet master about it. But since he owned the Navy, they couldn't really charge him because it would have been like dicking themselves over.
Sure. Wow.
Well,
Pretty crazy.
I haven't heard that theory
That's
before.
insane.
I'm totally on board with the idea of rich people playing people as pawns.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels similar to like, conspiracy stuff from 9/11 when they're like, oh, it got a call not to go in that day. You know,
Right.
But
same
with the
situation.
number of rich people like at play, that's plausible.
And like the stuff that there was literally no reason. It's like, why wouldn't you be sending all of like gold statues and stuff that they pulled off the boat for no reason? And all, only people that were close to him were bailing.
My thing was that like, you know what? The ship wasn't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to make it anyway. Every other ship, plus the captain, had too many incidents. The Olympic, which was the first ship, first of all, the Titanic was supposed to be built and taken off earlier. The reason that it didn't is because the Olympic kept getting fucked up in accidents. Also, the guy who was captain of the Titanic was captain of the Olympic when it kept getting all these incidents. So like they would have to like rebuild the Olympic. So they would take pieces from they would bring it back to Belfast and they would take pieces from the Titanic and they would put it on there and they would just, they kept pushing it back. So, maybe you miss an iceberg if you sail when you're supposed to sail. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Also, so there's consistencies with people, like the captain, he was on Olympic when it crashed into another ship. And it's like almost hit things multiple times and he was always in front of it. When the Titanic took off, suction from it moving that big out of like where it was harbored at pulled another ship in and they like almost hit that. So it was like all these, and they said if that ship had hit, it would have stayed right there. They wouldn't be able to take off anymore.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Also, there's a lady named, her name is Violet something, and she's been on all three ships.
Ooh.
For like multiple like she's the one survivor. She survived the sinking of the
But
Olympic.
also, like, is she cursed? Like, why did
She
they
might be
keep
cursed.
happening
Yeah.
while
The-
she's
the
on
Well,
it?
not
Britannica-
anymore. She's got to be dead.
The Britannica was like a few years after the Titanic, and she was on all of them. She survived.
hilarious.
She survived 2 sinkings in like a
And
month.
she goes back.
I mean, at what point do you stop going on boats?
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
She was like a nurse, and I was like, can she like get time served or something?
Yeah, for sure. If you like were on an airplane that went down, how long do you think it would take before you flew again?
I don't know that
I
I
wouldn't
would.
fly. I wouldn't fly again.
Yeah.
Bus? You'd be like
I would have to, man.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman.
I'd take a cruise ship. I would do a lot of other things besides flying.
I feel like I would eventually get over it, just because that's such an inconvenience.
I
don't
would
know.
have to roofie myself to get back on a plane. They would have to carry me on unconscious
Oh,
and
that
off of the
reminds me
plane.
of something. This is what I did. One of the things I
Wait,
did.
is it? Okay.
This reminds me of something I really didn't like about Titanic. Is that
What?
they kept showing you dogs early on in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So it
What?
was like they kept so in the beginning you see people coming on with their dogs and you see like the crewmen walk on the dogs.
Oh yeah.
And you
Right.
just-
Like these dogs are
These
gonna
dogs
die.
are gonna die. It's like
Yeah.
that's like a subtle reminder every time they walk by. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna make it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Where did it film?
What?
Like, is there a specific area that they were?
I think the set was in.
It says
They built it in Mexico.
reconstruction of the Titanic was built in Baja California,
Okay.
and a lot of computer generated
Right.
imagery. Did you
Which
guys think
this
it
was high tech, I think, for the time, right?
Yeah.
It was way over budget.
Right, 200 million was its budget, but it made it all back, grossing 2.18 billion.
Holy
Which is
shit.
crazy. And it's still like
Yeah.
that movie was just back in theaters a week ago in like super 3D, and he's just
Yeah.
still making money. I wanted to see it, but I don't like seeing movies
In 3D?
I don't like seeing
I would
movies in
love to
3D.
see this in
Oh,
3D.
right.
So I didn't go see it. I saw it the last time it came out.
I don't understand anyone who does not like 3D.
It's the
Yeah.
glasses.
Oh my
The
God.
glasses. I don't wear
You
glasses.
get a headache?
So it's like, yeah, I kind of like, it's just like
Presses.
It's
on
like
you.
this.
Yeah.
I walk around without anything on my nose 24 hours a day.
What about sunglasses?
I wear sunglasses.
You
I don't-
wear I've seen you in sunglasses.
But it's like this. I'm not like trying to focus on a thing, you know? And it's like if I'm uncomfortable, if I take them off, I'm looking at like a blur.
Yeah, it
now.
looks
And
weird if you
I
take
don't
them
want to
off.
see the blurry dude hit the propeller. I want to see
Yeah.
the whole dude hit the
I get
propeller.
it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Actually, that might be funny. I might have to do that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he seems
Just going
farther
just
away
for that
now.
part. Yeah.
You bring your own boombox with
Yeah.
yakety sax.
Everybody be cool.
Speed it
You're
up.
gonna love this.
Speed it up. Speed it up.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about Celine Dion,
Yeah.
the real star of the show.
Oh,
I
boy.
remember when I was little and I saw it. First of all,
Yeah,
this
do
was
you want the music at all?
yes.
All right.
I mean, we were so obsessed with this. I was like 7, I guess. We loved it.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I
it's,
was listening to this. I'd make my mom play it in the car all the time. Oh,
it's
God.
classic.
Oh, I'm gonna weep. Oh,
yeah. She obviously won for Best Original Song with you know,
course.
James Horner and stuff.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
I listen to the piano.
Karaoke
oh,
classic.
She is a freak.
I don't want to
of
use too
all
much of
kinds.
it just in case they
Sure.
You're right.
Yep.
Good call.
Get
Shut it
sued.
down.
Yep. But they never play it like fully in the movie, which I thought was kind of a bummer. I remember being like, "Mom, they didn't play the song," and she was like, "Well, you heard it
Yeah.
a little bit," but I was like, "It's not the same." I think I wanted like someone to sing it.
Yeah.
I
You get
wanted
it in the
Celine
credits.
Dion
You
to
don't
be
get
on the
it to the
boat. I
credits.
know.
They give you like some of like this
They
Yeah.
tease it the whole
the
time,
instrumental throughout.
which is beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it won for original score, right?
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
it certainly did. It won 11 Academy Awards.
That's too many.
Yeah, I think it won too many for what it was.
What were the
Really?
11?
You know, you got Best Director, Best Picture. It didn't get nominated for Best Screenplay. It was the first Best Picture.
Because the dialogue was not good.
Yeah, it wasn't a great movie.
This ship cannot sink.
But
Classic.
Yeah, the spectacle of it kind of carried it. But let's see here. I've got it's the second Titanic film, like a movie about the boat, to win. 1933's Cavalcade. Best Director, Best
Have
Art
you guys seen
Direction. No. Best Cinematography, Best Visual Effects, Best Film Editing, Best Costume Design, Best Sound Effects Editing, and Best Original Dramatic Score and Best Original Song. So
Nice. Some good stuff. I think
They
that's
really crushed
completely
it.
appropriate.
yeah,
It was a real icon of
yeah.
its time, and it deserved all of the awards.
Oh my God! I mean, for each scene, there's like over 15 parodies and sketches. You know, a King of the
Yeah.
Well,
World.
and just the production. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
That
There's
might
so
be
many.
the corniest thing ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, like there's like the whole she could have fit him on the door with her. You know, they
Right,
that was
yeah.
on
I'll never let go.
MythBusters.
Yeah.
They're like, we could have put the
The answer is yes.
She's really sprawled out on that door. Everyone always talks about that.
Yeah.
She's like lounging.
right. She talks about it
Because
on late
Rose
night.
is selfish.
Yeah. Is she
She's
though?
She's selfish. The whole movie is her being selfish.
Yeah.
If she would have
But
stayed
then
on the
she goes
lifeboat,
back for him all those times. I mean, she really puts herself in great. She's selfless towards the end, saving Jack, and then gets selfish again with the door. But
she could have stayed on the lifeboat. Jack could have gotten the door, and then she could have gotten to him with him getting the whistle.
Yeah, nobody was really thinking like, what if we just both live?
Right.
Let's just try to
Yeah.
live.
Meet you on the other side. You know.
She never.
but I mean, you're never going to get in contact with that person again anyway.
Well, if
You know
they're
what I
trying to
mean? The
snub you.
internet doesn't exist. How are you going to find each other?
Okay, when you get to New York, say Rose Dawson. I'll look you up in
Yeah.
the yellow pages.
You're never going to find each other.
It'll be like maybe like 3 weeks. You know.
Yeah, it is a different time. I guess I'm just trying to nitpick here and
Yeah.
there. But
Did you see Mr. Fantastic?
why am I blanking? Why am I thinking of a fox? Fantastic Fox something?
You ever see Fantastic Four?
No.
Yes.
So
I haven't
Mr.
seen any of
the
that.
stretchy dude, Mr.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't know till I saw this. I saw it maybe like a couple years ago. I watched it again, and I was like, "That's Mr. Fantastic." He's the dude who was like, when they get all the boats, and he's like, "We got to tie the boats together, and I'm gonna go back." It's just like a little aside.
Nice.
There's a bunch of weird cast members in here who I just kind of start noticing.
It would be
Yeah.
cool to see somebody draw, Mr. Fantastic tying all the boats together with his arms.
I didn't think of that. I might do that.
keep it together. That'd be fun. Did you want to go over? We could either go over favorite scenes first or the actors and other stuff they were doing around the time.
Mm.
They were doing around the
Well,
time?
basically,
Actors, yeah.
like Leo doesn't win an Oscar until The Revenant. 20 years
Which
later.
was garbage.
I didn't see that,
Yeah.
and I do not want to see it ever. I don't know. I don't think this was an Oscar-winning performance for him.
Right.
I mean, like, it's a great
He seems knowledgeable
film
about
as
the
a
boat.
whole, but like,
I would have
neither
given
of them
this.
stretched their acting abilities. I don't think.
It's like when you
Yeah.
look back sometimes and you see movies, you see people win Oscars for movies that aren't as good as, maybe the controversial one. So
Right.
he didn't win for this. Maybe he shouldn't have won for this. But I would rather it would be this than The Revenant. The Revenant is just like 2 hours of him on his side, just like laying down.
Yeah, almost dying over and over.
that's all
again.
it is.
They're like, we didn't cut the movie, but twice. There's 2 shots.
But I don't know. I like Leo's, Oscar search or whatever. Every time he did something, he's had
Yeah.
a bunch of great movies.
yeah, he's a great actor.
I don't weep for him.
I feel like he did a great job in this.
I do too.
Kate Winslet was kind of
Well, she seems British in some scenes. Does she not? She
Sure.
kind of like is in and out of like
Yo,
a weird accent,
Later,
you
later
know?
in the movie, the British accent starts to disappear a bit.
Yeah.
When
Well,
she's-
she wasn't supposed to be British, right? She was American, or was she British?
No, I think she was supposed to be British. I thought she was going to start a new life in America.
I was
Yeah.
confused about where Rose
Her accent
came
does
from.
slip.
It's definitely not consistent, but I don't know. I just like her. She's just so like has such like a force on screen.
Yeah. It's iconic now too. Rewatching it, both of them are young as well.
But Leo looks way younger.
so
Yeah.
young.
Kate Winslet could be 40
She looks like
and look amazing.
She looks like you call her a woman, but you could easily call Leo a boy.
100%.
Oh, 100%. He's like 21 in this.
How old was
Looks
she?
younger.
She's definitely older.
I think she's 22 or 20.
No.
They're both 22.
That was
or
almost
21.
Matthew
They're the same
McConaughey.
age? No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey was almost
No.
Jack.
That's insane.
Thank God he wasn't. Thank God he wasn't. Oh my God.
Yeah. Is it another Chris O'Donnell, Billy Crudup, or
Chris O'Donnell,
Chris
97.
O'Donnell?
Tom Cruise could have also
no.
been Jack.
No,
But
Tom.
he was too old for the 20-year-old.
Chris, if we got stuck with a Chris O'Donnell, the dude from Batman and Robin, oh my,
my
God. They tried to make him a thing so hard.
Yeah, they did.
He also looked like an old man.
Yeah.
It says Jared Leto also was asked, but he refused to audition. So
I could see him. That's the only one where I'm like, maybe.
You don't like Matthew McConaughey?
Not for
I
that.
love him.
I like it. I like Matthew McConaughey. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
That's who I like. Failure to Launch.
He just needs
Arguably
to
a beautiful
age
film.
a little bit.
Well, and I don't necessarily love him in these like serious acting roles that
Sure.
are like in legitimate movies. I really like rom-com Matthew McConaughey, and that's all I really want to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
What if it was because then you have to make Jack from Texas? instead of Wisconsin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
He only does one voice, and it's wherever he's from. It's like Stoner, Texas,
all right, come on.
Bongo Man.
Teach you how to spit. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Oh my
I
God.
hate that scene so much.
Yeah.
The spitting scene.
Oh, they seem
Spit
so
like a
young when they
man.
do that.
They just seem stupid to me in that
Yeah.
scene. It's gross. I don't like spitting. I don't like the mom walking. I hate all of that. That scene sucks.
Yeah, but she learns how to spit in Billy
And
Zane's.
yes,
Billy
and I
Zane's
did
face.
like that.
Yeah.
He like
A little
hawked it back.
callback. Yeah.
If you watch that in slow motion, you
Yeah.
see his face reaction. Because you know they had to do that more than once.
Right.
He's like, come on, man.
Somebody clean up his eye again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the 200
Get
million
the wipes.
came in.
Get the high
Just bounty wipe.
value James Cameron future tech wipes. This is a robot.
Yeah.
So what had Kate Winslet been in before this? Anything like big
I know she did win an Oscar in
before?
no
She won an
after.
Oscar after.
Right.
I can't
She
believe
was
she
in
was
another
that
movie with
young.
Leo.
I want him in order.
Oh, Revolutionary Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never saw that. Looked sad as fuck.
It's very sad.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It's like I'd like to see a love story where they worked out.
Yeah.
You know, give us what we want.
Yeah.
Right.
Someone should make a movie now where they're
Where Kate
together.
and Leo work out?
Yeah.
Maybe they could be.
Maybe like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, but with Kate and Leo.
Oh yeah. It's like let's take an idea
I
that's
love
working.
that movie.
And let's do it again.
Kate Winslet's got a Grammy
How
For
the
what?
fuck does she have a Grammy? Wow.
for best spoken word album for children. That's so specific.
That's
What?
that.
No one
shouldn't
else
be a
was in the category.
All right, you guys ready for some of her movies? I don't recognize any of these. Oh, A Kid in King Arthur's Court. She's the princess.
Mm.
Sense and Sensibility. Hamlet. And then she made Titanic. She didn't seem to
Alright.
be in anything big though.
So this was a breakout movie for both of them, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Well, yeah,
I guess What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
right. But he's like a young man in this. He's
Right.
like
This was his
actually
first.
an adult.
I mean, being in elementary school, it was everyone's first crush. This was even before like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and stuff. This was like everyone losing their mind for how hot he is.
right. Him, Jonathan Taylor Thomas,
Yes.
Devin Sawa.
Who's that?
He was one of the hot ones. I liked Melissa Joan Hart. She was
Oh, what a gal.
yeah, in love with her.
She's fantastic.
I was big Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan?
Oh yeah,
Really?
You've got
That's
Meg.
cool.
90s Meg Ryan is
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle, When Harry Met Sally,
Oh yeah,
That's
City
cool.
of Angels.
City of
She was
Angels
great.
fucked me up.
I hated that ending.
Me too. It's very frustrating.
Did they?
I
Have
don't
an
remember a
alternate
lot of the
ending?
movie, but it was like, how? And Nicolas Cage is so creepy. He makes me deeply uncomfortable. He's tough to watch for
He's
me.
a
I don't know why.
tough
Yeah.
angel to believe, like, you know.
Yeah.
I wish Titanic had that alternate ending now. She's
I
like,
can't
"Don't-
wait to
stay
watch
back.
that.
Stay
Stay
back."
back.
Obviously, I mean, I gave it a little bit more threatening zeal, but the line is, stay back.
I fucking love it.
And they're like, why is she trying to kill herself again?
Yeah, so good.
Oh, my God.
Kate Winslet eventually won an Oscar for
Says she was nominated
The Reader.
2 years before Titanic for an Academy Award.
Oh yeah, Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was nominated, what's that, 7 times? She's won once. 1 for 7. That's not a great free throw.
But
And that's probably
it's-
similar for Leo.
You know,
Right.
this is
worse,
before the ridiculous times we have now,
Where they nominate 10 people.
where it's like, what's the girl's name?
Jennifer Lawrence?
How does she keep getting nominated for these Academy Awards? Doc?
Ooh.
I think some of them are
Hasn't she already
deserving.
won? Has she won 3?
I think so.
She's won 3.
Something like that.
She always seems to be paired up with the same director and Bradley Cooper. So I
Right.
think they just have good chemistry.
She's taken roles from more deserving older actresses. I'm gonna say it. because they got her planned from anywhere from
That's
you're
true.
22 to like your mid 30s and you got 3 kids.
Yeah,
What the
I
fuck
didn't
is
see
going
that
on?
That's a hot
movie
take.
Joy, but that definitely could have been
I didn't see
an
it.
older.
I didn't get that at all. That American Hustle.
I liked
Yeah.
that movie.
I think she won for American Hustle.
Yeah.
Silver Linings Playbook is dope though. I ain't gonna lie. I can't.
Yeah,
hate
that's
on
a
that
good
movie.
one.
Yeah.
A mental illness is always a good.
Just get her
Right.
out. Just get her out of my X-Men. That's all I want.
I never saw that.
Get Bryan Singer out of my X-Men.
Oh, Bryan Singer is fucked up now.
Boo! Fuck that guy. Did you like Kate Winslet in Eternal Sunshine?
Yes.
She was amazing. in that.
Yes.
I feel like that changed my life. That movie.
Me too. I was
know.
different after that. Another fucked up movie. Oh my God. Have you guys heard of Little Children? Kate Winslet's in that too. It's a
Little-
very good movie.
Little children.
I don't know if I've
It
seen
is fucked up. It's really difficult to watch. But she and
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly, who's the guy in it?
Um,
That like he's just like generic hot dude.
Brad Adam. No, Patrick Willis.
Yeah.
Patrick Willis.
He was like in Girls that one episode. Whatever.
Wilson. Patrick Wilson.
Oh,
That
yeah.
dude. This is a
Yeah.
crazy movie. Like they have an affair.
He's betrayed by his hairline.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He would be a
You're
much-
right.
He don't look hot anymore.
Wait, let me see.
He looks like an aging. You know.
That's
That's the-
definitely a high forehead.
That's kind of the
now.
best part about going back on IMDb is like you see the two leads and then the man and then the man and then the older man.
Mhm.
As those movies age, those pictures get updated, so the film doesn't look right anymore. You're
Yeah.
like, what?
Why
Wait a
would
second.
they?
This,
Yeah,
this is the guy they're pining after here? Or I don't
that's
know.
so funny. Yeah,
Little children.
yeah, it's a crazy movie, but she was really good in that too.
Yeah. I think he did.
Are you gonna see her in the new Woody Allen movie? This is the question.
What a fucking
I
bummer.
don't-
No,
I
I'm not
don't
going to see
know.
it.
I don't know.
I love Coney Island, and I love Kate Winslet, but yeah,
I saw the trailer. It's got all your favorite
I
Kate
know.
Winslet in the trailer.
Yeah.
But it's Woody. I don't really.
I can't
I
support
can't.
that shit.
I get.
Sure.
I'm not real upset about it, but I can't even have that conflict because I just didn't understand why people liked Woody Allen movies. I was like, I probably wasn't gonna see it anyways, but I wish I could share some of that internalized conflict. But I do love Kate
I
Winslet.
wish I could share
That's
some.
great.
That's funny.
Let's touch on Leonardo DiCaprio, and then if you guys have any final thoughts, we can wrap up. But do you have any favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movies?
Leo movies?
Yeah.
I love Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, so
that
good.
movie is
So
great.
good.
It's so
That's
good.
one of those. If it's ever on TNT, I guess I got to sit down for
Yeah.
an hour and a half and watch this movie.
I
Yeah.
To watch
love
Tom
that.
Hanks chase Leo.
Yeah,
around.
that knock knock joke Tom Hanks tells in that game or that movie is so good.
I don't remember that.
He's like asking him to tell him a joke and he's pissed off. He's like, knock knock. He's like, who's there? He's like, go fuck yourself. Yeah,
That's funny.
I love it.
The Departed's great.
Oh my god,
so good.
That's probably one of my favorite movies of
yeah.
all time. I do like him in that.
I
Even
mean,
though Mark Wahlberg's in it,
it's kind of lame, but I kind of liked Inception. You know,
I kept falling asleep in Inception.
Yeah.
I never finished it.
yeah.
I also
It's-
didn't finish it the first
It's
time.
so boring
It's
at
so
certain parts,
boring.
but overall, just bending a world around on your finger is kind of
That is cool. That is cool.
Sorry to make you walk.
I
back
wasn't thinking
right
about
away,
a
but
lot
I
of
mean, thank
people-
you for just cheering me on.
A lot of people were thinking about Inception too much, way more than I was after it was over.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
some people are deeply affected by
I
that
didn't go
movie.
online and be like, "Well, what is the ending mean?" I didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, I
and,
didn't either.
and then none of us really cared for the Revenant. You know,
I didn't see it.
It's just Leonardo
It was
eating
such
raw
clear.
meat.
It was such clear Oscar
And-
bait.
yeah. And when it came out, and
Yo,
what
he
it
got
was,
fucked up by that bear though. That shit was
Yeah.
it was nasty.
It was cool.
It was very nasty.
I mean, there's cool scenes about it, but overall, it's just like as a movie, you're like, oh, this man is mad. He wants his boy, and he's very, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Any final thoughts about Titanic?
James Cameron just is only his hair is aged.
He kind of looks like Steve Jobs to me.
They're pretty similar.
Yeah.
Both don't respect women. That much.
What did his wives say was so bad about him?
It's. I
Is he, like,
mean,
abusive
I
and
know
shit?
more about like the actresses, and it's just he's one of those aggressive, demanding, like
Yeah.
strenuous. Sigourney Weaver had stories, but the thing is, like, it's weird because a lot of them have, out years later. Like Kate Winslet once said she would never work with him again, and
Jesus.
now I think her and Sigourney Weaver are working with him for like the next Avatar threequels or whatever. How many movies?
Oh,
they're
I
making.
forgot he did Avatar.
The dude's. I don't. The money he makes is insane. I didn't know Titanic made over $2 billion.
I know.
Yeah, he
That's
probably gets a
crazy.
percentage. You know.
Yeah, he has stake in a lot of this stuff. That's why Terminator, when he owned Terminator, and I guess he sold the rights for only a certain period of time, which expires this year or next year. So for years, while they keep making shitty Terminator sequels, he doesn't even complain about. He just sits there like, yeah, man, the idea seemed great. It's like because he knows he's gonna get the rights back. So he says positive things about such shitty. Like he knows these are shitty movies, and he just says whatever he wants. And now the next one, he's producing it. And he's got Arnold back. Linda Hamilton, who also said shitty stuff, she's coming back.
Nice. That's crazy that he can just do that.
Yeah.
It's like buying and selling houses. You know, you paint it up, fix it up.
Right.
I found an SNL sketch about Titanic, but
Thank God those men were brave enough to put
I don't know
women
if this
and
is
children
it.
first.
Yes! It is a good thing that we women were saved.
Sorry, who are you?
My name is,
Zach Galifianakis.
Mrs. Boat.
I don't remember seeing you at the ladies' tea.
You shut up, I was there! Shut your mouth!
Sir, we all know you're a man. You have a beard, your voice.
I loved
is
that.
deep.
I
Yeah.
thought that was hilarious.
So anyway.
Very funny.
You guys, do you guys have any more final thoughts about Titanic?
I was impressed. Did it set any records for like how many, like the amount of extras they used and like how many people were in it? That seemed like a ton of people being in it.
Some of it
Even
was
at the
CGI
beginning, like
people.
when right, that's true.
Yeah.
Old timey immigrants just make me so emotional. Like the beginning of it,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's like when everybody was running out on like the third level, and then everybody's running, and you see that dude who's clearly from like India or something. He's trying to read the signs when it's just clearly like, go this way. He's like, I don't know, and nobody's helping him. It's like him and his whole family.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, on that note, here's to the Titanic.
Yes.
To the iceberg.
to the iceberg.
To the guy on the
people-
propeller for Chris.
Yes, to the guy on the propeller. Listen,
Yeah.
that's the purest comedy I don't laugh like that ever.
I don't think I've seen you laugh that
Yeah.
hard.
I just can't talk. All right,
What about the random boy that Leonardo can't
because you gotta
save?
understand his scream. Just, ah! Clank. Oh man,
Yeah.
it's funny. And people shit on the iceberg for no reason. Anytime, I always correct people when people say that Titanic was struck by an iceberg. And I'm like, no. The iceberg was just doing iceberg shit.
Right.
It was minding its own business.
Yep.
These overly ambitious people.
These cocky ass dudes.
Cocky.
Yep.
Who wants to get in? Why you got to get somewhere a day early?
Right.
Imagine if,
Right.
if you were on a plane and your pilot did that. I'm like, nah, man. I got
Yeah.
somebody picking me up at 8.
No.
We're good. Stay on schedule.
Yep.
Right.
I think the main takeaway is women and children only. That's the only people that should exist. The only
Perfect.
people that should run boats in general and
I'd be down with
make
that.
And
decisions.
then
Yeah.
you weed out from there. You get rid of Rose's mom. You get rid of Rose. And then
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
pretty much it.
Yep. Promote the Kathy Bates types and
Yeah.
let's go from there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys again for being on the podcast. Melissa, do you want to plug your anything?
Sure.
happening?
I'm at M_STOKS on Twitter. I usually post everything there. Bitches Brew with your lady Shelby Taylor every Friday at Halyards in Gowanus.
Chris?
I can just be found anywhere at Sir Chris Daniels on Twitter and Instagram or whatever. And I do a podcast with my boy Rob Hayes. It's Kanye West podcast called Book of Ye. You can check it out on iTunes, Spotify, and all that. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks for being on again,
Thanks,
guys.
Matt.
Thanks for having us, man.
So fun.
Yeah.
And, if you want to find anything about the podcast, it's at 20-Year-Old Movie on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Go ahead and follow us and give us a 5-star review. And be ready for more Oscar Best Picture nominees this month. All right.